Welcome back to Fairy Tail Anime Review, episode number 26. This is our reviewing the 294th episode of the series, Natsu vs. Zeref. Kind of picking up where the last episode left off, where the whole call for arms thing by Ichio from the last episode. He's in the episode, but his appearance is basically a cameo in the medical bay of the Fairy Tail Guild Hall, along with pretty much Thunder Legion, who just show up for this one quick scene, and that's it. So because with the armies coming all over the place, and of course Zeref being informed what happened in the last episode with Brandish and Adjo being defeated, though they suspect being killed, but nope, he knows for a fact that the Fairy Tail doesn't really kill people, even though they killed the demons of Tartarus. They killed pretty much all of them except for the leader, who was killed by Zeref himself. So there. And of course, like with everything else going on, everybody gets sent out to various different places. We have one team sent to the east, which is comprised of the Strauss siblings, Levi, Gonjo, and Panther Lily. We have another team, basically kind of like Team Natsu in the way, going to the south, which is comprised of Gray, Juvia, Natsu, Carla, and Windy. But Natsu decides to go to the east to beat the crap out of Zeref. Yep. And we finally get a chance to see what the heck is under his bandage. It's been there since the first time this arm bandage first showed up in the series was actually back in episode, I believe it was like 277. That was the first time. It was 76. That was the first time this thing was seen, which was the first episode that was basically adapted from the Alvarez Empire arc. Not Alvarez Empire. The Avatar arc. And we finally get a chance to see what it is. It's basically the anime. This episode is the anime debut of the Fire Dragon King Roar. This very powerful move that could easily kill Zeref. Of course, the episode ends with him basically crying. Yep. And of course, there's this funny moment with Urza and Gray just getting into an argument because apparently Urza is very supportive of Natsu, like somewhat protective of him as well, despite the fact she's got to fight with him as well. Yeah. Now, as far as I can tell, there is no hints of attraction between Urza and Natsu because, well, Urza's not interested in Natsu that way. Basically, Urza sees Natsu as her best friend. Just sees her as a friend, nothing more. And as far as I can tell, he's always, if I remember from the early on in the series, he always is very protective of her, just like he's protective of him. Like, whenever she cries, one time she cried, he got mad and beat the crap out of the guy who made her mad. Turns out that was Jalal. Yep. So, very supportive of each other. Brandy you see for like one scene, and of course, Kana and Lucy had basically sort of protect her from two pervy old men. One of whom happened to be the fourth master. Yep. Yeah, and apparently when they capture her, they took the time to take off her robe. For some reason, they couldn't keep the robe on her. I highly doubt she kept any weapons inside that robe because it didn't look like she really did. You could have kept the robe on her because without that robe, it looks like she's in her underwear. That's basically what Brainius looks like without the robe on. She looks like she's in her underwear. Of course, Lucy asks her about her mother. Of course, this doesn't answer it a little bit later, but he's like, give me a talk. Because I think in the case of Lucy, she's not interested in info about Alvarez. She's interested about her late mother. That's basically what she's asking her. Because you don't read the manga, yeah, she does know who. Yeah, of course, she does also come back in the recent arc in the series where he revealed what happened to the Spricket 12 after the series. I won't spoil what happened to them. You have to read one of the most recent chapters released for Fairy Tail Century Quest, which takes place right after the events of the series. Oh, and by the way, with this episode, since it's been 14 episodes since 14 chapters depth in the series since they got down below that's like 100 chapters left. There is roughly about, I think it's like 86 chapters left. Yeah, 86 chapters left, and this is only like the 17th episode of the final season of Fairy Tail, which I wouldn't be surprised if after the series is over that we might get a chance to see an adaptation of Fairy Tail Century Quest. Who knows? It's a possibility. But my guess is the studio who makes this particular series, Cloverworks, and Patriots, probably is going to wait until Fairy Tail Century Quest is roughly about 2 years in before they finally start adapting the damn series. Would be a bad idea to do, especially as the series is actually really good. Yeah. Otherwise, there's nothing much to say except it's a good episode. It's a good continuation of what happened last week. But there's more stuff with Lucy and Brandy in the next week's episode. And there's some kiki stuff happens in another episode, which I won't get into, but I read up online. Yeah, it's going to happen. But I won't reveal exactly what it is. But there's a bit of kinky stuff. Not sex, mind you. No, there's no sex in the series. Just something you might describe as kinky. But that happens in a later episode. Yeah, in Japan, they've already got to 297. Now, those of you probably asking, thinking like, why am I not watching the sub, even though that the sub is up ahead like I do with Black Clover? Here's kind of the thing. I have watched the sub for Fairy Tail. I like the dub better. Nothing against the sub actors, but I've heard a lot more of the dub than I have the sub. Because the only thing I've heard sub is the OVAs, which I have spoken to Hypercorn about the OVAs. Not even he knows why they weren't dubbed. This is why I'm like, yes, he is one of the dub actors. He doesn't know why Funimation, why they didn't dub it. I mean, it wouldn't be that hard to do to dub these particular OVAs. I mean, they did dub the OVAs for Black Butler. Why not do the same thing for Fairy Tail? I mean, they also did dub the 2018 Jump Festa special. But why not the OVAs? It's kind of the same thing with Naruto, where, Naruto and Bleach, where Viz Media did not dub the OVAs for those particular series. Yeah, maybe because they don't have much to do with the series at all. That's a possibility. But in all honesty, I don't really know what the reasoning is for why these things weren't dubbed. I am looking forward to next week, which is going to be the continuation of this fight between Natsu versus Zeref. And it doesn't exactly end very nicely. I'm not going to spoil what it is because I basically have been called out on one of my reviews, basically spoiling later stuff. So I'm not going to spoil it, but I am going to say I kind of know what happens next because I read the manga. But what I can tell, one thing I know about Fairy Tail, they stick pretty close to how they presented in the manga. I would say the biggest change they made was during the Tartarus arc. They changed the situation with Urza, where in the manga, because people know about the infamous scene where she's held prisoner, and in the anime she's just wearing a shirt. Guess how she is in the manga when she's in that jail, when she's with Kagura in that cell. She is butt naked and she is tortured by Kagura in the nude. Same thing happened with Asana as well. She's not fully clothed like she was in the anime. In the manga, both she and Natsu both stripped naked. Because apparently because people from Tartarus think that demons are basically above humans. Yeah. Give her that what you will. Yep. But in the case of what I've seen so far, yeah, they stuck pretty close to how the manga presents this arc. Even the previous arc pretty much is like that way as well. Also, this was a really cool scene, like before Natsu takes on Zeref, where he takes a good chunk, at least a small chunk of the army. Apparently, this particular small force is made of 10,000 men, and Natsu took out nearly 1,000 people. It's implied he may have killed them all. He's not shown killing them, but he basically took out like According to Zeref, he said he took out like 947 soldiers. Wow, that's a lot. And he did this in a span of about 3 minutes. Yeah, that's probably anime time. I can tell definitely. Probably took him just a few minutes to do this. Yeah, heck, even Zeref was actually quite shocked to see how powerful Natsu has gotten. When he first saw the marks, like, what magic is this? And then Natsu just simply beat the crap out of him. This is probably a fight that people who love Fairy Tail. This is a fight people have wanted to see since the Tenro Island arc, which they had a brief fight and he was kind of weak at that point, but since he's gotten a lot stronger, yeah. So he's basically what it is. And of course, the general, one of the generals, one who's the Winter General, refers to him when he calls him out like a whole because Natsu refers to him as Zeref. They're all like, Zeref? Why do you refer to him as Zeref? And of course, General points out that's what people in Ingyo call Emperor Spragat. Black Wizard Zeref. Like, it's just another name of his. He also suspects it might be his real name. But he doesn't know what to refer to it. Of course, he tells him because he suspects because Natsu probably has a lot of power within him. Like, Natsu's happy to go a little bit far away. Just stay close by, but don't get too close. And Zeref tells his forces, stand back, go back a few kilometers, and I'll take care of this. We're like, are you sure? And the general and when the general was like, don't worry, he can handle this. Let's go back a few feet. The Emperor cleaned this mess up. Yeah, and he basically, it's almost like a one-sided fight between Natsu and Zeref. Yeah, but something really bad happens. I won't spoil that, but you'll find out in next week's episode. Okay, so that's it for this particular review. I thought I would have time to do a review of Case Closed today, but that's not gonna be the case. That's probably gonna be done tomorrow. Even though yes, I have 5 episodes left, that's probably gonna be done tomorrow at this rate. But yeah, until I see you next review. Bye.